Hey, this is Rich over at TVP Live with another quick tips brought to you by Adobe Photoshop Elements Tutorials Group. We're jumping right into this poster. Want us to know how to restore an old photo like this. Now, this one's pretty bad if you look at it. It's just got nothing but grain going on. So we're going to take a little portion here and just fix a small portion so that you can see it's a lot quicker this way. Basically, what we want to do is always start with the Enhance Smart Fix right here. This will do most of the work for you. Then you can work on top of that. So let's go ahead and click Smart Fix, and you see it already did a big difference. It made it a little more contrasty, and now you can see the image a little bit better. Well, I'm going to go ahead and continue doing that by going to the color, adjust hues and saturations. I want to look and see what I want to take out, because this is a black and white photo. So as you can see, it's kind of reddish. So if you could see, I could take it out, and if I can make it hotter or lighter, it'll make it easier to make a black and white photo a little sepia. And then we're going to hit OK. Next, let's go to Enhance again, Lighting, and Brightness and Contrast. We always want to bring up the contrast on a photo like this, and then play with the brightness to see what looks right. I'd say somewhere around here is probably good. And we'll hit OK. Now that's about as good as this photo is going to get without having to put some masks on top of it. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to grab the eyedropper tool and pick a portion of the darkest point of the suit that I can find. And I can see right down here, it's right around there. And then we're going to grab a brush, and let's grab a really big brush like 100 point. And I'm going to go ahead and paint a little bit beyond the edges of the suit and just kind of paint it all in. And it's okay if you miss a tiny bit of spots, because this is supposed to just help colorize the edges of the coat. Now what I'm going to do is go to opacity and bring it down to about 50%, and just so that we can still see the edges. Grab another eraser, bring the eraser down to like 10 point soft brush, and I'm going to carefully brush out what I don't want of that new mask that I drew. So just go ahead and paint along the edges, erasing everything else but what you want. Get to the edge, creep it down here, and we'll bring it all the way down here. Once we got that traced, I'm going to go ahead and grab the opacity of that layer, bring it all the way up, so now I can grab a polygon and basically cut out in the middle of that erased portion, because we're going to get rid of everything else that we don't want beyond the edges. The reason we did it this way instead of painting it in with the polygons is because the edges are actually supposed to be soft, not harsh. I'm going to right click, select inverse, and hit delete, and there you go. Now we're going to bring down the opacity almost to 50% again, grab the eraser, and let's go ahead and erase out the scarf here. And then go ahead and play with the opacity until it starts to look natural. There's less, there's a little bit more. At a certain point, it starts to look unnatural. So we're going to do about 70%. That looks good. Next, let's do his hair. Exactly the same way. Create a new layer, grab the eyedropper tool, select a dark portion of the hair, grab the brush, and go ahead and paint away. Now we bring the opacity back down, grab a small eraser, and paint out what we don't want from what we just painted in. Bring the opacity all the way up, grab the polygon tool, and cut it out. Right click, select inverse, hit delete, and there you go. Now we can play with the opacity here. A little bit less, a little bit more. And I like it right here, right at about 50%. So now finally we just want to lighten it up a little bit more. Go to Enhance, Lighting, and Brightness and Contrast, and just bring the brightness up a little bit like this. Do final contrast adjustments, and there we go. You see the portion that we fixed compared to the old photo. It's pretty much fixed. Do this to the rest of the photo, and you got yourself a good restoration. Well, that's it for this quick tutorial. This is Rich calling it quits, saying over and out.